Alright, welcome to another version of Scene Director. This time it's 2.2 and there's a few bug fixing coming now up in version 2.2.1. So the main focus on the version 2.2 has been to make it more efficient to actually make these videos. And one of the things people spend a lot of time is setting up the characters. So with 2.2 we made this very easy. Whenever you set up a set of actors, you are able to actually save them. This will then create a XML file which is in your game directory, and if you have already a saved one, you can just go into this menu when you restart GTA, click load actors, and it will now get the actors which was in your save file. So in my save file I had 6 different actors which have now been added to the different slots. Whatever actors you already have, they will sort of drop out of the slots they have, but are still pets which you can possess and then add to a slot afterwards. The loading of the file, basically if you click load here, you can see the file name. And this, so if you have multiple different scenes or different movies with different characters, you can just rename this file and move it back and forth as you want. So this one will always load the one with a file called scene director _save. Yeah. Also, if you want a heap of people into a scene, you can click load actors multiple times and you will just be getting loads of people. So that's another way of doing it. So you can even change the scene director _save file while you're running GTA and then swap to different characters. But remember, all the actors are sort of reset, or and it will only assign those which are in the file. Yes, there are a few bug fixes in the release as well. I won't go too much into them. One of the big things is this character select wheel. So if I'm one of the main characters here, the Alt key will disable the character select wheel as long as you're in the scene director mod, but if you take away the menu, it should show up again. So shouldn't interfere that much without playing. We have a few fixes around resurrection if people are getting killed, some of the actors being killed. So I have a bit too many actors here, so let me start over here. So let me load over the actors to show you this. And I do have a surprise for you at the end, so stay tuned. So let's now select one of these actors, and we're just going to show you the resurrection algorithm now. We probably need some weapons. So not all people know about how this the scene setup and everything works. So the whole idea is that once you set the scene to active, the actors will remember their location where they were, and if you then click ALT+delete, you will try to get the actors back to where they were in the start, including any vehicles and stuff like that they have. So if I go into active now, and I can go back to setup if I want, and if I now just try to kill these people, we can test out. Okay, so now they're back, but they had a location when the scene was active, so let them just burn away. And then I can now either choose to move the scene into active, or I can click ALT+delete, which is the quickest one. So you see there are some strange things happening on. Hopefully now, yeah, we have all 5 actors coming back. And if you try again, you will see it should go much quicker this time. But when they're dead, there needs to be a few special handling. Let me just take care of this guy over here. Yeah. The last thing I want to show you is a new feature, which is inspired by one of you guys who made this, the awesome James Bond series with different cars. And one of the things I saw in that video was that you set up some scenes where you're driving a car and you're exploding. You're driving past a few other ones and crashing into them and actually exploding them. So I guess that's been set up with remote detonated C4. So I decided to implement a new feature, which you can see down in the menu, and it's bound towards the N key, and it's called explode nearby vehicles. So let's get close to some vehicles. So the whole idea here is you drive close to somebody and you sort of want them to make a spectacular crash. You press the N key as you're getting close and they will explode. So it basically will explode several cars within a certain radius of your own car. So let's try that again. So now you can see the range is doing here. And yeah, so it's cool for just driving into stuff and making an explosion. So, and it will not explode any vehicles from other actors. There is a version of, or an alternative to that, which is almost the same, but instead of exploding them, it sets them out of control. So let me just show you that as well. The key there is a bit hidden, but it's now ALT and END, which is the key, and then they will then go out of control and explode when they actually crash into the wall. There are some, it doesn't always work with police cars, but it should work mostly. Let's test it again. So it's very cool if you have a good scene where you have a lot of cars driving and you want to basically create mayhem. Like that. Alright, several other bug fixes, not going to go through into detail with them. And the next focus for the focus for the next release will be looking at gunfights to see how we can support that better, both that you can actually fire at things which are not the entities, but also crouching and other things you would normally do in a fire or a gunfight scene. Alright, stay tuned.